Hello everyone, and I'm the Dynamic Duover, and today I shall review Doctor Who The Witch's Familiar. Now, just to do a quick recap of what happened in the last episode, Missy, Clara, and the TARDIS were killed by the Daleks. The Doctor is now a prisoner of Davros. He has no TARDIS, no screwdriver, and is at the mercy of his greatest enemies. So, after the ending of The Magician's Apprentice, I was really hoping they wouldn't go with, oh, he saved Davros, but he did. By the way, this video contains spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, who am I kidding? I just gave you the biggest spoiler of the entire episode, so it doesn't matter now. Anyways, so now the episode picks up right after a few minutes, I think, after the ending of The Magician's Apprentice. And Missy and Clara are alive, and she explains that she used the Dalek weapons to power her teleporter that allowed her and Clara to survive, and it also explains how she survived at the end of Death in Heaven. And right now, like I said before, my favorite moments from The Magician's Apprentice was the Dalek at the Davros and the Doctor's moments. I really enjoyed. And those moments are not gone. They're still there. They're more like they're the focus of the episode this time. And that's something I liked about this episode. I just wanted to get that out of the way first. And I just want to say, basically, Missy and Clara are just there or just on the sidelines. Like, basically, after Missy explains how they escape, they go to the sewers, which is the Dalek word for graveyard. And it turns out that's where they've been throwing all the dying Daleks, the decomposing ones that don't serve any usefulness anymore, and they are just left there to decompose. And this is an interesting concept. I really enjoyed that. But basically, they go into the sewers and they alert a Dalek, and a Dalek tries to take both of them prisoners. But Missy uses Doc's door and destroys the Dalek. Now they kill the Dalek inside, but now they have the Dalek armor. And that's basically what they do in the first half. Like this episode is mainly about Davros and the Doctor. So you see, after the Doctor saw Clara and Missy killed, he forcibly removes Davros from his control chair, and I was a bit shocked to see that he really didn't have legs. I always thought like Davros may have been paralyzed. Like I know he didn't have a left arm, but I'm still a bit shocked that he has no legs. So after the Doctor takes the chair and heads to the Dalek main control room, where he tells the Daleks, because he's pretty sure Clara and Missy are not dead, and demands for Clara to be returned and to be alive. But lucky for us, Colony Sov, I think that's his last name, planted some of his snakes as a backup plan in case the Doctor did that, because Davros is always prepared, and knocks the Doctor out, and he returned to Davros. And these moments between the Doctor and Davros are some of the best moments in this episode. Like how he tells the Doctor he has respect for him, how he is glad to know that he isn't the last of his kind, because no one should go through that. Like the Doctor tells Davros that his planet survived, and that he's not ashamed of leaving Gallifrey. Like Davros said that he now possesses the confession dial from the last episode, And we kind of get our story arc for this season. It turns out there's this prophecy that says that two Time Lords were supposed to become this hybrid of the Ultimate Warrior, and Davros thinks this is the Doctor. That's why he left Gallifrey, to escape that fate for himself. Now, I don't know, but knowing Stephen Moffat, it could just be another Time Lord, which probably is right. But I don't think like this prophecy is meant for the Doctor. I think like this is set up for the finale, but I think the reason why he left is so much steeper. But let's get back to the episode. Like Julian Breach and Peter Capaldi they're the highlight of this episode. How they like this shows that Davros and Doctor are similar. Like how Davros tries to convince the Doctor to kill the Daleks, like just rip out his life support, and because he's connected to the Daleks, because that's what's been keeping him alive, and if he dies, so does the Daleks. But the Doctor tells Davros that he never wanted to become a murderer. And I also like how Davros tells the Doctor that his greatest weakness, because he was ashamed for leaving him behind. But no, it turns out because the Doctor is a doctor. That's basically what he does. He shows compassion to even the worst of the worst and is willing to save them, even if it means doing the wrong thing. Like, yes, I think this is exactly what the Doctor is. Like, deep down, he's a doctor. He will help anyone if they ask for help. He shows compassion because he doesn't think of it as a weakness. He thinks of it as a strength. And that's a highlight of this episode. Like, all the talk between Davros and the Doctor, how they are the same, why the Doctor left Gallifrey, how Davros believes that he created the Daleks for the good of the universe. And those are the greatest moments of the episode. Because you could say a lot about Stephen Moffat, but you can say that he knows dialogue. Some of this best dialogue is in this episode between the Davros and the Doctor. Like, I have to give my hand, like I like how Stephen Moffat tries to show both characters in different lights, how they are different, but how they are similar. And something else that really shocked me is that Davros actually has eyes. He's not like that giant eye on his forehead is not actually his eye. His real eyes are still there, and that's what shocked me. I was completely shocked, to say the least. And I like the scene between Davros and the Doctor in that moment, how he says, "Doctor, am I a good man?" How the Doctor said he doesn't know how to answer that. And I like Davros' replies, how he says, "You are not a good doctor." Though that scene is so much more dramatic in the episode than how I explain, because I cannot explain that scene. It's so emotional. It actually makes you feel something for Davros. How you feel sorry for this guy who just wanted to end a war. That's basically why he created the Daleks. I like how Stephen Moffat captures this in this episode. And this is a highlight. And I also like how Davros tricks the Doctor, how he says he just wants to see one last sunrise before he dies. How the Doctor is willing to grant that wish by transferring a bit of regeneration energy into the cables that are keeping him alive. But Colony Sov is a part of the wires, because he's now in his snake form and is blending into the wires. The Doctor transfers some regeneration energy, but Colony Sov is forcing a lot of regeneration to go through the cables now. The Doctor doesn't regenerate, but he is losing a lot of regeneration energy. And now you have Davros, that energy transferring to the Daleks and Davros. Now let's go back to Missy and Clara. Like now, Clara is in the Dalek armor, and it translates her words, like some words like "I am Clara Oswald." It gets transferred to "I am a Dalek," and other words that are not in the Daleks' vocab, basically. And I thought that was interesting, and I really liked how I really liked the dynamic between Clara and Missy. Like I thought that was a good part of the episode, and I also like how they kind of show respect to each other, where Clara shows respect to Missy, and how Missy just treats her like just someone to take a bullet, basically. She throws Clara down a hole to see how deep it is, like basically, and tells Clara that she's just the bird that miners used to use when going down to mines to see if it's safe. And that's basically what Clara is. She's just the pet. Like that's why this episode is called The Witch's Familiar, because familiar for witches is a pet, and Clara is the pet. That's why this episode is called The Witch's Familiar. So they decide to head to the Dalek control room, where Missy tries to get to the Doctor, get to find Davros. But at the same time, the regeneration energy is going to the Daleks. Like they shut down for a few minutes. So Missy leaves Clara there, and like she doesn't know how to get out. And Missy just leaves while she lets Clara basically die at the hands of the Daleks. When they power up, they would kill her. I bet that's what she was thinking about. So Missy arrives in Davros' hospital room, and he reveals that his life is has now been preserved, that he will live for many more centuries. Yes, I really like Davros. I really didn't want him to die. And then Missy shoots the panel, which causes the regeneration energy to stop flowing between Davros and the Daleks. And the Doctor reveals that this was his plan all along. Like he knew Davros would try something like this, and reveals that he planned on this because it's been transferred to every Dalek on Skaro, including the Daleks in the graveyard. The decomposing Daleks are now rising, want revenge, and the Doctor planned this. So he and Missy escapes and leaves Davros to his fate. We don't know what happens to him, but it's basically he escapes. That's what we can believe. He basically just escapes. Davros always survives. So we now show Missy and the Doctor running through the corridors, where Clara in the Dalek armor finds them, and because she cannot sit, because what she is saying translate into Dalek words. Like I am Clara Oswald. It translates to I am Dalek. And how she says, please, please get me out of here. It translates to exterminate, exterminate, exterminate. And how Missy tries to convince the Doctor that this is the Dalek that killed Clara. That how she died a horrific death, and gives the Doctor a gun to kill this Dalek. How she tries to convince him that this Dalek would just die like all the others. But here's the scene. Like, this is the Master at her best. Because this is the moment where I actually thought, yeah, Missy is the Master, trying to use the Doctor, trying to convince him that she's just like her, like killing one Dalek. Which she would probably reveal that was Clara. Like, after he could have killed that Dalek, she would probably just told him that that was Clara. But thankfully, the Daleks has, like, vocab has mercy, and the Doctor pauses because no Dalek would ever say mercy, except for the Big Bang Dalek, but that's a review for another time. And the Doctor realizes that this is Clara and opens the Dalek armor and tells Missy just to run, get as far as away from here, or he will kill her. That's basically the meaning for her to leave. And so she leaves and gets trapped by Daleks, and that's the last we see of Missy. Don't know how she will come back. She probably might be in the finale. But the Doctor and Clara head to the main control room where Daleks are dying from decomposing Dalek, and the Dalek Supreme tells the Doctor that he will be exterminated, but luckily that the TARDIS was set on heads, which is something that it causes an emergency liftoff, basically. And the Doctor now uses sonic glasses, and I hated that. Like, no, Steven, use the sonic, not like it's a screwdriver. It's not sunglasses. That's just stupid. Like, why the hell did you do that? Ugh. But the TARDIS dematerialized around Clara and the Doctor, and they escape, leaving the Daleks to die. And the Doctor realized that why would the Daleks have the word mercy? Because he decides to go back to that battlefield and save young Davros. Like he shoots all the landmines and goes up to Davros and tells him that mercy is what matters, and saves young Davros. And I really was disappointed with this ending because I thought it was going to be like the Doctor kills young Davros and creates an alternate timeline. That's why we had that black and white footage from the Next Time trailer. I thought that was what's going to happen. But no, like they went with a predictable move. Save young Davros. And show the Doctor he has compassion instead of pushing that character to his limit, killing Davros, then realizing his mistakes, going back to fix that mistake, and setting the timeline okay. I would have liked that ending more than this. I thought, but it's the Doctor. We all guessed he was going to save Davros, but I'm still a bit disappointed with this ending. So, my final thoughts on this episode. I thought there was great moments, like Davros and the Doctor were the highlight of this episode, hands down. The dynamic between Clara and Missy were amazing, and I also like how Missy was trying to make the Doctor kill Clara. I thought that was a master move. And here's something I really didn't like. The Daleks. They were just there for the hell of it. Like, they were just there because Doctor Who needs the Daleks to be in every season. Like, they did nothing. It was like Asylum of the Daleks all over again, just for them to be there. And, like, that's basically just another excuse to have different Daleks there. And another thing, why were there different Daleks from the past eras of Doctor Who? That doesn't make sense. Why would the Daleks decide to go from the bronze look and reuse some of the old casing? Again, doesn't make sense. Overall, did I think this episode was good as the first part? No. But did I like it? Yes. I give it 7 out of 10. Overall, that puts this episode, because I gave The Magician's Apprentice at 8 out of 10, and I give The Witch's Familiar out of 7. That means the episode, overall, both episodes equal up to 15 out of 20. So yeah, not a bad way to start the season. We now have a story arc. We know that this season will be Clara's last season. And we know Davros and Missy will return at some point in Doctor Who. Don't know when, But let's just say I am looking forward to see where the season goes. I'm the Dynamic Do-Over. Till next time.